It's 4:47 a.m. on November 1st, 2025, 30 nautical miles off Miami. The Atlantic is a black pain until alarms punch through the steel. Aboard USS Virginia, sonar blooms hard. A reactor heartbeat, narrow, band screws wrong cadence. Not one of ours. Battle stations. Headsets snap on. Chairs scrape. Mark bearing range closing. The watch team rides the noise like a storm front. Overhead, a 8 amperes from Jacksonville spins up, buoys ready. Near the coast, USS Arleigh Burke clears Port Everglades to seal the approaches. Rig for silence, the captain says. Weapons tight. Gloves settle on rails. A tube crew readies -48, heavy, fast, unforgiving. A second trace flickers, then fades. Decoy? The drift tightens. Hold wire. We own the geometry. The fire control officer murmurs. The 8 amperes drops a barrier. The ocean answers with pings and hush. Below, the intruder surges up. Speed cavitation nicks the water like tearing cloth. One wrong call, and torpedoes or missiles meet steel. The next minute decides who surfaces and who doesn't. In the Atlantic approaches off Florida, cargo ships move through lanes that keep daily life running back home. Fuel, food, electronics, everything America needs slides through this stretch of ocean every hour. Below that calm surface, USS Virginia hunts in silence. Its mission clear: protect the coast, protect the flow, and stop anything that tries to slip inside U.S. waters. For weeks, intelligence reports whispered about a foreign sub probing closer, likely a Type 093 Shang class from the People's Liberation Army Navy. Nuclear power, built for stealth, and armed with YJ-18 anti-ship missiles, it's not just another visitor. Its goal: covert reconnaissance near USBO. Ports, maybe a dry run for something worse. The captain knows the math. If it crosses this line undetected, it can threaten not only ships but cities. Now that contact is real. Every ping from sonar, every burst of static could be the prelude to a strike. The 8 amperes Poseidon circles above, painting the grid with buoys, while Arleigh Burke cuts east to hold the surface line. The radio net links all 3 air, surface, and sub into one tense heartbeat. Layered defense. Detect, localize, strike. It sounds simple, but every move risks escalation. Down in the control room, nobody talks about politics. They talk in bearings and knots, in seconds and ranges. If they refuse to surface, the captain says quietly, we end this before they can. His crew nods. There's no room for hesitation when steel meets steel underwater. And as tension builds, here's the question that splits the room and maybe you, watching. Should the U.S. fire first to stop the threat, or hold until attacked? If you'd strike first, press 1. If you'd wait, press 9. 4:53 a.m. The ocean feels tighter. The sound room hums with tension as the contact sharpens, range 22,000 yards and closing. The captain nods once. Weapons free on hostile sub. Execute order. The 8 amperes Poseidon drops a fresh line of sono buoys, each splash echoing like raindrops on steel. Within seconds, the array paints a narrow corridor of sound, an acoustic fence. Somewhere inside, the Shang class moves fast, deeper now, trying to hide under the thermocline. Fire control, match target motion. Solution locked. The captain's voice cuts steady. Tube 1, fire. A single Mk-48 launches, its engine ignites like a muffled thunder under the hull. The torpedo snakes away, wire guided, silent for now. At the same moment, Arleigh Burke establishes the surface perimeter, radar spinning, sonar towed and listening. Its role is overwatch. If the sub breaks through, the destroyer will catch it before it reaches the coast. Below, Virginia turns slightly to keep wire integrity. Every degree matters. The torpedo's course depends on it. Depth 200 feet. Maintain contact. The fire control officer's tone stays calm, but his knuckles are white. This is what they trained for weeks of simulations, all boiling down to minutes of reality. Aboard the intruder, the Shang class crew must know they're cornered. The hydrophone clicks tell them they're being tracked. They respond with a burst of countermeasures, acoustic decoys, shaped to mimic their reactor hum. On Virginia's display, the contact splits in 3 directions. Multiple returns decoys out. The captain doesn't blink. Stay with the primary track. Wire confirms drift. The Mk-48 adjusts, holding to the true signal. 30 seconds later, the decoys fade, eaten by the current. Above, the Poseidon crew watches the data scroll. Hit confirm path. The commander breathes once. Let it hunt. The next 30 seconds stretch forever. Then, the headset crackles one sharp spike, one burst of silence. Contact lost. Somewhere deep below, steel meets pressure and implodes. The captain exhales. Target neutralized. But there's no cheer, no relief, only the dull awareness that this was real, not an exercise. They just killed nearly 100 sailors whose faces they'll never see. The ocean should have gone quiet. Instead, it roars back. Moments after the explosion fades, sonar lights up again. New contacts, multiple. Impossible, someone whispers. The captain stares at the screen. 3 distinct returns. Not wreckage, not debris. Another sub, or drones launched before the first went down. The Virginia holds steady. The water around them vibrates with low-frequency pulses somewhere out there. Something is sweeping, searching back. The Chinese might have sent autonomous undersea vehicles, programmed to continue the mission even if their mothership died. Contact bearing 170, range increasing. The sonar chief looks up. They're spreading, sir. That means they're not running, they're hunting too. Above, the Pate Ampere circles tighter, feeding sonar data in bursts. The Arleigh-Burke's deck guns rotate toward the horizon, ready for anything that breaks the surface. On the intercom, calm voices relay every update. Speed, bearing, noise. Then ping. A new sound cuts through everything. Active sonar from the deep. It's not ours. The captain's eyes harden. They're painting us. Seconds later, a metallic echo torpedo launch detected. Evasive maneuvers. The sub rolls portside, dropping countermeasures. Noise bursts out, decoys spinning like ghosts. The Mk-48 reload process races in the background. Crews drenched in sweat. Tube 2 ready. Fire! Another torpedo leaves the hull, wire humming as it chases the return path. The first incoming torpedo dives and turns, hunting back. The Virginia's countermeasures confuse it barely. The detonation echoes 100 yards aft, a heavy shock through the deck. Lights flicker, but systems hold. Damage control, report. All stations green. They survived barely. Above, Arleigh-Burke detects cavitation and responds instantly, dropping ASROC depth charges along the trajectory. The sea boils, dark plumes rising. Then, silence. Inside, the crew exhales. But no one celebrates. They all know this could have gone the other way in seconds. The captain glances at the clock, 5:08 a.m. Stay sharp. We're not done until command says clear. And now, as the sea settles again, what would you have done if that torpedo was coming for you? Would you hold your fire or strike first to end it? Comment below, press 1 for fire first, 9 to hold. The crew thinks it's over. Systems stabilize. Sonar screens flatten to calm green. But the ocean never stays silent for long. A faint pulse creeps back, steady, rhythmic, deliberate. The sonar chief narrows his eyes. Sir, new contact, same vector. The captain leans forward. That can't be right. The wreck's still falling. Yet the trace strengthens, rising through the static like a heartbeat. It's no debris, it's another sub. The realization cuts through the room. We've got company, the XO says. The enemy hadn't come alone. A second Type 93 Amperes, a newer variant, had been shadowing the fight, using the first as bait. While Virginia fired, this one moved in from the blind side, slipping through the thermocline. Above, the Pate Ampere's Poseidon tilts its orbit, catching a new ripple periscope wake, 30 miles west. Arleigh-Burke gets the feed and immediately shifts course. Helm, full ahead. Prepare ASROC launch. The enemy sub deploys new tech smart decoys that mimic tonals, shifting frequencies faster than a human can track. The sonar screens bloom with false contacts. We're losing lock. Hold to the primary tone, the captain orders. Ignore the noise. The torpedo veers, guided by instinct and training. Then, a sharp return, real, solid, closing fast, target reacquired. Moments later, the torpedo hits. One deep flash, no echo. Pressure wave rolls through the hull. Silence returns. The second sub is gone. The control room stays quiet. The captain looks at his crew, pale faces, steady hands. "Log contact neutralized," he says softly. "Maintain search pattern. Assume nothing." Outside, dawn starts to break over a calm Atlantic, but no one on board believes it's truly over. The Atlantic looks calm on radar, but calm means nothing now. At 5:21 a.m., a sharp ping cuts through the noise again. Not one of theirs. Not one of ours. Unknown. The captain's voice steadies. "New contact. All stations ready." The sonar return is strange, too shallow for a sub, too deep for debris. The Pate Ampere's crew confirms it. A fast-moving metallic object, possibly a torpedo still live, maybe a failed decoy looping back. Either way, it's closing in. Bearing 185, range 4,000 yards and decreasing fast. The captain turns to the XO. "If that thing detonates, it'll rip through the thermocline. Everything within half a mile is done." Silence. No time for second guesses. Virginia dives, the hull groaning. Crew brace as the sub slides beneath the sound layer, hoping to vanish from the rogue weapon sensors. Above, Arleigh Burke locks radar on a faint blip surfacing something metallic, small, drifting. "Could be debris," the ops officer says. "Could be a trap," replies the captain. Without warning, the object bursts from the water, an unmanned underwater drone, transmitting a signal. Within seconds, another ping, two more rising. They're not weapons. They're relays broadcasting real-time data straight to satellites. The enemy had one final move. Send everything they recorded. The mission wasn't about attack, it was about surveillance. Cut transmission. Arleigh Burke opens fire, its CIWS shredding the waterline. Sparks, smoke, silence. Below, Virginia launches one last Mk-48, erasing the signal source. The sea falls quiet again. No more pings, no more returns. Just the slow rhythm of machinery and breathing. The captain closes his eyes. "We won the fight," he says, "but not the message. Somewhere far away, that data is already out there." He turns to his crew. "This isn't just combat, it's chess. Every move they lose, they learn." As dawn breaks, the horizon glows gold. The Pate Ampere's banks homeward. Arleigh Burke cuts its engines, and Virginia drifts in silence. For now, the ocean holds its breath. If you were the one in command, would you destroy the evidence to keep your secrets, or risk exposure to prove restraint? Comment below, press 1 to erase it, press 9 to let it go. By sunrise, the Atlantic is still again just a thin oil sheen and drifting foam where two submarines met their end. The Pate Ampere circles one last time before heading west, cameras rolling. Arleigh Burke lowers speed, collecting fragments. Virginia surfaces briefly, her black hull slick with salt and silence. Divers from the destroyer recover scattered pieces of composite hull, small, jagged, stamped in Mandarin markings. The wreck is deep, broken into two main sections, reactor intact, no radiation. Intelligence will study every bolt, every circuit. What they find here will echo through every future patrol. Back on deck, the captain reads the report aloud. Target destroyed. No U.S. casualties. Around him, the crew listens in silence. They know that line won't appear in headlines. The world will only hear about an underwater anomaly off Florida. The real story will stay locked in classified briefings. Across the Pacific, another Navy takes notes. Satellites replay sonar bursts. The game continues quietly, endlessly, each side pretending peace, each one ready for the next signal from the deep. At Shedem, Zito Ame, Virginia turns north toward home port. The crew stares out at the calm water, each wondering the same thing. Did they stop a threat or start a new chapter in a shadow war no one admits exists? For the US, the mission proved one truth. Layered defense works, but deterrence is fragile. Technology wins seconds, not peace. The enemy adapts, learns, and waits. On the comms, a short message from command. Good work, hold position, debrief to follow. That's all. No glory, no anthem, just the quiet hum of engines heading home. And as the last wake fades behind Virginia, the question shifts from tactics to belief. In a war fought in silence, who really wins, the one who fires first, or the one who never has to? Comment below, press 1 if you believe strength keeps the peace, press 9 if restraint does. It's 14:20 CST on the 27th of September 2025. In the South China Sea, near Scarborough Shoal, the U.S. carrier USS Nimitz suddenly spots a fast-approaching contact. Bridge alarms pierce the air. Sailors sprint to stations, scanning radar and lookout reports. Out on the horizon, a massive white hull cuts across the waves. China Coast Guard ship CCG 3104, a Jiaotu-class giant, charging in with escort cutters at its flanks. Within moments, the Chinese vessel swings dangerously close, forcing the American carrier to alter course. High-pressure water cannons roar, slamming into a nearby Philippine patrol ship and even shattering windows on local fishing boats. Radio chatter fills the air, urgent and chaotic. This is not a drill. The confrontation has begun, and the next minutes will decide whether this clash stays gray zone or spirals into something far worse. On deck, flight crews brace, tie-downs rattling. One wrong move, and steel on steel turns this standoff into a disaster. In the South China Sea, trade routes thread through the water like arteries of the global economy. Every day, oil tankers, cargo ships, and fishing boats cross these lanes, and keeping them open means keeping daily life back home steady. At this moment, USS Nimitz is not just another carrier, it is the shield standing between free passage and a blockade. With it sails BRP Malabrigo, a Philippine patrol ship, and clusters of fragile fishing boats. Together they represent not just local survival, but the broader test of whether allies can count on America's presence. China Coast Guard ship CCG 3104, reinforced by 3 cutters, does not fire missiles or guns. Instead, it presses closer with high-pressure water cannons, sudden turns, and deliberate intimidation. These so-called gray zone tactics are meant to push without crossing the red line of war. But every blast that cracks a fishing boat's glass or forces the carrier off course pushes the boundary closer to real combat. For the fishermen, this is already a battle. Families hurt, boats damaged, livelihoods at risk. If USS Nimitz holds firm, allies breathe easier, knowing America still protects these waters. If it falters, the shockwaves ripple far. Higher insurance costs, uncertain markets, and doubt spreading through every regional capital. Washington's credibility, Manila's sovereignty, and the fragile balance of peace are all on the line in this narrow stretch of sea. So, what happens now? Does the carrier stand its ground, or does China's push force it back? Drop a 1 in the comments if you think the US must hold firm, or a 9 if you believe Beijing's tactics are shifting the balance. And if you want to see how this showdown unfolds next, make sure you're subscribed. 14:35 CST. On the bridge of USS Nimitz, the situation grows tighter by the second. Radar confirms multiple Chinese cutters pushing in, while CCG 3104 blocks the carrier's path head-on. The order goes out. All ahead, slow brace for collision avoidance. The steel giant creaks as helmsmen adjust course, but the Chinese ship mirrors every move, keeping pressure on the carrier. Philippine patrol ship BRP Malabrigo calls over the radio, its voice tense. "We are taking heavy spray. Windows shattered. Fishermen injured." The water cannons blast again, hammering the smaller boats, sending shards of glass and terrified crews scrambling. Every fisherman knows they are caught between giants. 14:42 CST. Nimitz launches helicopters to provide eyes in the sky. From above, the scale of the confrontation is clear. One U.S. carrier, a lone Philippine patrol ship, dozens of tiny fishing boats boxed in by Chinese vessels. The carrier's defensive jets sit on deck, engines cold, held back from escalation. For now, restraint is the mission. But restraint is costly. 14:47 CST. A dangerous turn from CCG 3104 comes within mere yards of Nimitz's bow. Klaxons blare again, collision warning. The American ship holds steady, but the maneuver forces her to swing wide, breaking formation with the Philippine ship. For the Chinese, this is the play. Show dominance without firing a shot. 1450 CST. A rescue helo skims the wave tops, rotors throwing mist. Medics hoist 2 injured fishermen and flag another boat for tow. On open radio, Nimitz repeats a safety warning in English and Mandarin. Keep clear. Cease hazardous actions. CCG 3104 offers no reply. Instead, its pumps surge again, casting a glittering white curtain across the bow, daring the carrier to yield. As tension peaks, sailors grip rails, waiting for the next order. Hold course. Do not escalate, the captain commands. But every blast of water, every close scrape, drives home the truth. One mistake, one slip of steel against steel, and this gray zone clash explodes into crisis. The horizon is crowded, the air thick with radio calls, and the sea itself feels like a battlefield without bullets. The opening round has begun not with missiles, but with pressure, intimidation, and the raw nerve of men standing their ground. 1455 CST. The standoff drags on, and every passing minute pushes nerves closer to breaking. China's cutters split formation, circling wide and darting back in to squeeze the carrier from both flanks. From above, U.S. helicopters track the moves, each turn precise, each pass closer than before. The message is clear. They are not leaving. 15 CST. Waves slam against the hull as Nimitz holds steady. On the flight deck, sailors crouch low, securing gear, eyes fixed on the horizon. Below, engineers monitor propulsion, ready if the captain orders sudden acceleration. The carrier cannot fire back, it must endure, even as the pressure rises. The Philippine patrol ship struggles to keep position, buffeted by spray. Its crew reports cracked equipment and exhausted men. Fishing boats scatter, each blast of water splitting families. Mothers screaming into radios for help. For them, this isn't politics, it's survival in real time. 15-8 CST. CCG 3104 makes its boldest move yet. Swinging across Nimitz's bow at a distance so tight sailors can see crewmen filming with phones. One wrong calculation, one unexpected wave, and steel against steel becomes unavoidable. On both bridges, men grip consoles, praying no mistake sparks disaster. 1515 CST. A fresh spray arcs high over Malabrigo, slamming across its bridge windows and knocking sailors flat. The patrol ship wavers, nearly broadsiding a fishing boat before steering hard to recover. Over the radio, desperate voices shout, "Stay clear! Hold position!" Chaos spreads, and every vessel feels the squeeze. Tension shifts from endurance to brinkmanship. Neither side wants war, but neither side backs down. Radios crackle with warnings, translations firing back and forth. Each second feels stretched thin, every eye locked on the sea, waiting for the next aggressive move. And this is the heart of gray zone warfare. One side pushes, the other resists, and the line between intimidation and open conflict blurs to nothing. The outcome depends on who holds their ground the longest and who blinks first. So tell us, if you were on that deck, would you hold firm with the US sailors or give way under Beijing's push? Drop a 1 in the comments if you stand with holding the line, or a 9 if you think pulling back avoids disaster. And don't forget to subscribe to see how this clash escalates in the next chapter. 1520 CST. Just when the crews think they've seen the peak of the pressure, something shifts. Chinese cutters peel away, opening a gap, but it's no retreat. Instead, smaller, faster boats surge forward, darting low across the waves. These aren't warships. They're militia-style craft, rugged fishing hulls with reinforced bows and powerful pumps, built to harass and ram if needed. For sailors on Nimitz, the new threat is harder to track. Radar struggles to lock onto the small profiles, while lookouts strain to keep count as the swarm closes in. The Philippine patrol ship warns, multiple fast contacts inbound, bearing 085. On the flight deck, Pilots move toward their aircraft, waiting for launch clearance. 15:25 CST. The militia boats weave among civilian fishing vessels, hiding in the clutter. Then one lunges, blasting its water cannon across a U.S. helicopter hovering low on rescue. The rotor wash scatters the spray, but the intent is clear. China is tightening the screws with a more aggressive play. Seconds matter. The carrier's escorts adjust formation, blocking the swarm where they can. Radios crackle. Do not fire unless fired upon. But the rules feel fragile, one misstep from breaking. To the Chinese, speed and numbers are their weapons. To the Americans, discipline and control remain the only shield. Now, the clash changes shape. It's no longer ship against ship, but a swarm against a giant. One spark collision, panic, or a single shot could ignite the sea. This is the twist. The fight is no longer about one carrier's path. It's about swarms, chaos, and the limits of restraint in waters already on edge. 15:32 CST. The sea is chaos. Militia boats dart in, weaving between the fishing craft while CCG 3104 looms like a wall of steel across the carrier's path. USS Nimitz, the largest ship in the fight, is boxed in by the smallest. Every sailor knows the next minutes will decide if this clash holds or breaks. Helicopters hover, their rotors cutting mist. One fishing boat drifts too close, caught between militia and patrol ship. The Philippine crew shouts warnings, but another spray blinds their bridge. At the same time, a militia craft swerves hard, its reinforced bow aimed straight at the carrier's flank. Sirens erupt, collision alert. The captain's order is sharp. Hard to port, hold your line. Nimitz shudders as engines surge, shifting just enough to avoid the ramming run. The militia boat misses by meters, spray drenching sailors on deck. Cheers break out, but tension remains. The swarm isn't finished. 15:40 CST. Two militia craft lunge together, aiming at the Philippine patrol ship. Guns swivel, warning shots prepared. But Malabrigo holds fire, blocking with its hull instead. Steel scrapes as paint peels off the side. But the patrol ship stays upright. It's a gamble, risking damage to avoid escalation. Then the biggest test. CCG 3000. 104 turns in again, closing distance fast. From the bridge of Nimitz, sailors can see crewmen leaning over the bow, waving flags, signaling the carrier to yield. For the Americans, giving way means ceding the sea. For the Chinese, forcing that turn is the prize. Engines roar. The two giants converge, bows slicing the waves, spray exploding skyward. Radios scream, orders overlap, men hold their breath. One false move, and 1,000 tons of steel will collide. At the last second, CCG 3000, 104 veers off, missing Nimitz by a hair. The sea between them boils with churned water, a narrow escape but also a message. Next time, they may not turn. This is the climax, the razor's edge, where restraint and disaster blur together. So if you were there, would you match steel with steel or back down to avoid the crash? Drop a 1 in the comments if you'd hold the line, or a 9 if you think stepping back saves lives. And be sure you're subscribed, the aftermath will change everything. 15:50 CST. The confrontation finally eases, but the tension doesn't fade. CCG 3000, 104 and its swarm of militia boats drift back, engines throttling down, their message already delivered. They can push a U.S. carrier and live to tell it. On the deck of Nimitz, sailors exhale, soaked and exhausted, knowing how close steel came to steel. The Philippine patrol ship limps alongside, windows shattered, crew battered but proud to still be afloat. Nearby, fishing boats regroup, families counting injuries, checking damage, whispering prayers of thanks they survived. For them, the clash wasn't about geopolitics, it was about getting home alive. The result, USS Nimitz survives intact, and the US shows it will not back down. But the cost is clear. China's gray zone tactics, cheap, persistent, and risky, force America into dangerous restraint. Every time the US avoids firing, Beijing learns how far it can push without war. Allies watch closely, seeing both reassurance in US resolve and alarm in the rising challenge. In Washington, The encounter will be debated as a victory of calm discipline or a warning sign that the old rules no longer hold. In Manila, officials hail the U.S. presence but quietly wonder how long one carrier can shoulder the strain. And across Asia, leaders take note. The South China Sea is no longer a contested sea lane. It's a pressure cooker, and each flare-up brings the water closer to boiling. For now, the sea is open. Nimitz sails on, but tonight's clash shows how fragile that openness really is. Next time, there may be more boats, closer passes, or weapons fired from the shore. The stakes will only rise. And here's the question left hanging. Is America proving it still holds the line? Or is China proving it can push without paying the price? Drop a 1 in the comments if you believe this shows US strength, or a 9 if you think Beijing gained the upper hand. And subscribe so you don't miss what happens when the next confrontation comes.